Alright, I'll just talk to myself.
I'm here, bro. Wait.
Oh, you're watching this?
Wait, hold on. I'm exporting something. Okay. Okay, we're,
Alright,
we're
man.
looking at COVID.
Yep. So we're looking at COVID, and we're looking at how COVID has evolved to subvert the immune system. So part of the immune system works through this protein called MHC class 1. And the way MHC class 1 works is it takes proteins inside of the cell, they get chopped up, and they get...
Okay, wait. Can I pause you?
Yep.
What is a protein?
Protein is a combination of amino acids, which are these things. There's 20 different ones, and the 20 different amino acids can make up these big molecules.
Yeah, amino acids are like the 3-letter things, right?
Exactly. Those are the 3-letter things. So they make up... So you combine a bunch of amino acids together. That's what this green and blue dot is here. Green, blue,
Okay.
green, blue, green, blue.
Can we go even further down this? What is an amino acid?
The amino acid is this backbone. So it's these atoms.
So it's
then-
nitrogen and 2 carbons, but it's
Yep.
like what's like alpha mean?
Okay, so that means that that's its proximity to this carbonyl bond. So that don't ignore the alpha. What's
Okay.
really important is the R. So the R is where the atoms bond. So this is where the atoms are that make each amino acid different from each other. So
Oh.
there's 20 different R's because there's 20 different amino acids.
Okay, so it's like, just to say it's like R1 and it attaches to R2 or some shit.
Exactly. And then those come together and form these like squiggly structures
Mm-hmm.
that then come together and form these crazy complicated structures.
So it forms a bunch of proteins that look like that, and that's like a series of proteins, or what?
Exactly. So these lines, even these like coils and everything, these are all amino acids linked one next to another.
Those are all separate proteins, though, right? Or they're all linked as one
Um,
protein?
They could all be linked, or they could be separate. Separate ones come together all the time, and like so what we're looking at here, all these purple ones are one protein, all these blue ones are another type of protein, and they come together and form this big thing.
Do you know why amino acids exist?
Yeah. You want me to swing it?
Yeah, I want
Want me
you.
to go for it?
Yes. I just feel like I'm not gonna I'm gonna be. This is where I really struggle in school. Is I get so stuck on like trying to figure out like the even basicer than basic.
Hmm.
Because people are like, oh, just accept it as it is, and I'm like, no, I don't want to fucking do that.
Yeah. I think that's why physics is good for you, man.
Yep.
Like I completely agree with you. So okay, so I think amino acids, like why they exist. You mean?
Like, let me rephrase that question. Amino acids make up DNA, right? Don't they?
No, those are nucleic acids.
What am I thinking of with the A, C, G, whatever?
Those are nucleic acids.
Okay, with amino acids, how do we know that they exist?
That amino acids exist.
Yeah.
So you can take.
What does the
You
word
can
amino
break-
mean?
Amino means this nitrogen group. So the fact that this has this nitrogen, this is called an amine.
That it's
And-
literally got NH2.
Yeah, it's got NH2, and this is a carboxylic acid. I'm learning so much actually by telling you all this. Cause
So NH2 is called an amino,
Yeah,
and then COOH, CO2H,
COOH is what you said is what you normally see like in OChem.
carboxylic acid,
Carboxylic.
carboxylic.
Yep.
And so it just combines to create an amino acid.
Yep.
And it will always look like that except for the R.
Exactly. The R will be a different group that it kind of defines the amino acid.
Okay, and if I really, went to a lab and looked through a microscope, I could see that.
No, but what you could do is okay, so these all link to each other. So when you stretch it out like this, it's nicer. These all link to each other. They're like one monomer. And you can imagine this unit. If you take this, you could stack another one right here next to it.
Uh-huh.
And then it would be the N of this one. The N of the next one would bind to the O of this one. So it would be like an N right here.
Okay.
It would do the whole thing over again.
Uh-huh.
You can break that bond, and then you can measure a mass difference from the before you broke it to after you broke it.
Okay. And you usually break it chemically, I'm assuming?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know with what?
Yeah. So usually, I mean, they're like not the most specific molecules are typically proteins. Like out of all of chemistry, proteins are typically like the most specific. So you'd want to use a protein. Make sure that you're only breaking this bond.
So you can use a protein to break up an amino acid?
Yes, and that's called protease, which is a protein. So ACE means it's an enzyme, and an enzyme is a protein.
Wait, say it one more time. So a protein is an enzyme?
An enzyme is a protein.
Enzyme is a protein. Okay, it's a type of protein. Okay.
Yeah, the enzyme always ends in ACE, and protease is like a protein enzyme. So it's an enzyme that digests the protein. Like another enzyme is like amylase, which is an enzyme that digests amylose.
Lactase.
Lactase, exactly. What does lactase digest?
Lactose.
There you go. So it breaks up the bonds in lactose.
Okay. Hey, so, you know what I knew? I don't know what enzyme this is, but I read that gum does not have an enzyme that lacks the enzyme, or something about the reason why we can't digest gum is because it lacks an enzyme that we normally.
Or we lack an enzyme.
Or we lack an enzyme that we use to break down food.
Oh yeah. We don't have an enzyme to break down gum.
Yeah. Do you know what enzyme that is?
So all the food that we eat is digested by an enzyme.
Right. Is it all digested by the same enzyme or by different enzymes?
No, a bunch of different ones because they're like really specific. And so like each enzyme has like its own little job. And
so what if we're introduced to like some brand new food that no one's ever had in their lives? It's like, suddenly this weird fruit grows on a tree and we all decide to try it. Like, does our body already have an enzyme for that? Or does it have to like evolve or mutate or something?
Yeah. That's an awesome question. Like, since life is so conserved, like we're all made out of the same shit, we're probably going to be able to digest that plant.
Okay.
But if we can't, so you mentioned like the evolving thing, if we couldn't digest it and that was the only food that was around, then maybe like 1% of our population would actually have some mutation that let one of their existing enzymes digest it. And
then we would have just survival of the fittest.
Exactly.
And that's kind of what happened with rocks, right? That's why we don't really digest. That's why our appendix is useless now.
I think that people say that our appendix is useless now because that kills like a lot of the bacteria that we might get.
No, I thought, yeah, I heard something about appendixes are used now to like store viruses, so we know how to deal with them, or our body knows how to deal with them.
Oh, that's actually really interesting. Wait, it looks like that might be true. Oh, that's so sick. Yeah. It holds so these types of cells. So I'll actually tell you about it in this slide.
Okay. All right. I've got all the information I need. Let's start. Let's start this presentation.
So these.
Okay. MHC1 protein. That's the protein that digests or that breaks up COVID cells.
Basically, yeah. So you could think of it like they get broken up, they get displayed on the outside of the cell, the little broken up fragments, and then an immune cell comes along, and if the immune cell recognizes that fragment as being not a part of you, like, oh, that's not me, then the immune cell will kill this cell.
Okay. How?
It will inject a bunch of proteins that just fuck shit up inside the cell. Okay, so we just talked about all this. If the presented peptide is recognized as non-cell T cell, the cell is killed. Subverting T cell recognition. So if you were a virus and you could hide from this process, you'd buy yourself time for a path as the virus to safely survive and replicate without the T cell coming along and killing the cell that you're vibing out in.
Wait, say it again.
So if you were a virus and you were able to hide from this process, then you would buy yourself more time to survive in this cell and replicate and make more copies of yourself before a T cell comes along and fucks up your house, which is the cell that you're living in.
All right. Is there a method to that madness, like how it dodges the proteins, or is it
yes,
kind of
and that's what this paper's about.
Oh, okay. Continue.
Good shit, man. All right. So that's okay. Maybe I'll change the order of this to where I'll talk about the loading mechanism, because I liked how we just talked about that. So SARS-CoV-2 is the virus that causes COVID-19. Wild type is called WA1. That's like the first variant that's spilled into humans.
That was the.
So we know these viruses are changing. This is the first one.
Okay, that was the Wuhan.
Exactly. So since that first infection in 2019, this has happened. The virus, WH1 or WA1, has evolved into all of these different variants. So like as our population gets exposed to the virus, we develop immune responses to it, and that places pressure on the virus to evolve to escape our existing immune response that we have as a population.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's all the background. Basically, there's this virus, it escapes from the immune system, and it evolves to do that.
Is there any reason why, go back, is there any reason, no, you don't go that far back there, why they're named the way they are? I understand, like, just going up the Greek letters, but, like, why there's some, like, BA1s and it's weird shit.
Yeah. So that stuff's pretty cool. It's like, they basically, so it started off, everyone that got it, all of the first variants were A. And then this new branch happened, and then they started calling everything B. And then
okay.
from B, they had to distinguish, now there's BA, and then there's BB, and there's BC.
Yeah.
And then, 1.1.1 is like even further distinguishes them.
How do we know that iota is a branch from C or whatever? Like,
bro, you are so fucking good at asking questions. If I was asking all these questions, I would know so much more. So how do we know that iota branches from this?
Yeah.
We have to do, so each of these viruses have a sequence. Say they have, because we just talked about amino acids, right? There's 20 different amino acids.
NH2.
And you put them all together. Yep, NH2. 20 different ones.
No, amino acid is NH2CCOOH. R.
That you fuck R, dude. Fucking beast. So, okay, here you go. So, this is a string of amino acids that makes up a protein. You can take all of these letters, which are different R groups, and you can line them up next to each other.
You said there's 20 of them, right?
Yep. So, you can line them up next to each other, where, like, say this is one protein, histone H1, and we want to see how it's different, how the sequence is different between human, chimp, mouse, rat, and cow.
Okay.
So we line up all the letters next to each other.
And you see what the differentiates.
Exactly.
Oh, I get it. So now using that, you can see where the split happened within the COVID strains.
Exactly.
Okay. Yep. Go back to the fourth tab. Why are there like two C's connected to each other over there?
Yeah, so this is C stands for one of the R groups. It's called a cysteine. And cysteine is an amino acid.
So every amino acid has a name?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is proline, lysine, threonine,
okay, whatever.
Glutamine, serine. Yeah, so this is cysteine, C.
Uh-huh.
And cysteine has a sulfur atom on the end of it, and that sulfur atom really likes to stick to other sulfur atoms. So when it does that, it forms a disulfide bond, meaning disulfide, two sulfurs, that stick to each other really well. So this is one cysteine, and this is another cysteine.
That's so interesting considering they're the same, because like I've always learned that like opposites or likeness.
Yeah, like magnetism, you'd think it'd be like they should repel.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, that is cool. It's actually gotta be like some weird chemistry for why it's two sulfurs. Okay.
Well, sulfur, what is sulfur, like 8, right?
And
Or 10?
okay.
Sulfur is 16, which means it's got a ring of 8 and a ring of 8, right?
Yeah, I got enough. A ring of 6 and a ring of 6.
Oh, so a ring of 6 and a ring of 6 and a ring of 4? I can't remember the electron rings.
Me neither. It goes 1, so it goes like 1, 2.
Regardless,
3, 4, 5.
regardless of, that won't get me anywhere because I don't know.
Yeah, true. So fuck that. But
okay.
basically, imagine, so these two sulfurs link to each other, and then imagine that this amino acid here is part of this chain. And this
NH3 is ammonia, right?
Yeah. Ammonia, amino. So.
Oh. What?
Yeah. Well, in this case, it's protonated, so it's NH3.
You mean HCN?
Well, NH3 on its own is ammonia.
Right.
And then NH2 is called an amino group.
Oh, that's NH2. Wait, no, it said NH3.
It is NH3 because that's just because of the pH of the solution.
Okay.
Oh, me, this is going too far.
Yeah, all right. Well, let's...
Here, it's also NH2 right here.
Okay. Well, yeah, we'll get...
So imagine this one, though.
That'll be a topic for another day.
Yeah. So that's why these are linked to each other. So can you imagine now that there's a sulfur here and another sulfur here?
Okay.
That are bonded to each other?
Sure. So is that R replaced with an S, essentially?
Yeah, so the R is replaced with...
So an amino acid's always going to have your NH2CCOOH, and then that R is going to be an arbitrary element.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
And most of the times it's like a long carbon chain that then forms... It's like a long carbon... It's like a bunch of arbitrary elements.
Uh-huh.
That's confusing, but like what's in brown here is the R. So this one is just one C.
Oh, it could be.
Here is Yeah.
Oh. And that is CH3, that's like methane?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So this is called a methyl group. So that's how they could tell which one of these like came from where. You want to try and go into this? It's pretty fucked.
Well, what were you trying to get at? Well, isn't that the purpose why you were trying to show me this stuff?
Yeah, it is. How about we go into it?
Okay. Because
Okay.
I'm still trying to figure out how the hell it dodges a protein.
Okay, perfect. You're still on track. It is a beast. So this is MHC1, and what they did. So first thing that they did is they took some cells and they infected them with a bunch of different types of SARS-CoV-2, a bunch of different variants, and they compared it to a mock infection where they didn't infect it with anything. I actually need to look into what the mock infection is.
It's like taking a sugar pill.
Yeah, exactly.
But for
Viruses. Exactly.
Yeah, actually, I am curious now. Keep looking it up. I want to know
Okay, cool.
what they do.
Let me look up.
I'm assuming they don't give them sugar. That's so crazy. You know exactly what to type in.
Dude, I've said that to my boss before when he does it, but it feels good. It actually feels pretty beast.
I never would have known what to type in that Google search. So you stole the photo from another paper.
No, I'm presenting the paper. I promise. I was making it in a coffee shop today. I was like, man, I must look like the biggest plagiarizer. What is their mock fucking infection thing? Dude, this is fucked up. By the way, just a little aside. They had to do all this work since they were using live viruses like this shit on.
That's pretty fucked up.
Yeah. Is that my cousin Sally?
Did you just see your cousin?
Dude, that could be her. Wait.
I don't know.
That's my aunt.
That's your aunt?
Yeah. Alright, never mind.
Is that her? Oh, in that photo?
I don't know what UCI is, so probably not.
University of California, Irvine.
Oh, UC Irvine.
Yeah.
No, probably not. Dude, this is what 99% of science is. It's like, what the fuck do they mean by that?
What if you just Googled what is mock? I think it's
okay,
just...
it means they're
I just think
not
nothing
exposed.
happens, yeah. It's just like a... What do you call it? A control group?
Yeah, it's a control group.
Okay.
But normally they do like, sometimes they'll do like, they'll take some virus that's not infectious and add that. But I think in this case, they just kept media the same and they just didn't add virus. What they did is they infected a bunch of cells with either nothing or different SARS-CoV-2 variants. And they looked at how well this MHC1 is getting expressed on the surface of the cell. I'm just going to go back really quick and show you.
Yeah,
this is MHC1.
And that's the first variant of COVID.
No, sorry.
Oh.
So MHC1 is the protein in our cells that expresses viruses.
Oh.
So that they can get recognized by
Okay, so when the protein says, holy shit, there's COVID, it attacks it, and then the part that like it's sacrificed, it gets stuck out on the outside of the cell.
Exactly.
And then a T cell comes and kills it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if the virus is able to prevent itself, if it's able to prevent MHC from getting shown to the T cell, then it's going to stay alive for way longer.
Gotcha. So now we're going to figure that out.
So on the y-axis here, basically it's showing like how much MHC is getting shown on the outside of the cell. So this is the mock, and then all the viruses is less. And they wanted to see like if it was any of these. So now we know that all of SARS-CoV-2 viruses do prevent MHC1 from getting expressed. I think you already knew that, because I might have already said that.
Well, hold on.
So
you said it kind of fancy. The cells that were introduced to the protein, right?
Yeah.
And the like all of these other colors are different variants.
Yes.
And they're all exposed to MHC1.
They're all exposed to the viruses.
To what viruses?
To the different... Okay, so like all of these blue dots, these are cell populations that were all exposed to this variant of SARS-CoV-2. This is the original one from 2019.
Okay.
And then this is another variant of SARS-CoV-2, B117.
Right.
There's another variant, B1351.
Were they all exposed to something different or what?
Yeah, so they were all exposed to different variants of SARS-CoV-2. Okay, yeah, so I guess like maybe I didn't make this clear there. So SARS-CoV-2, you say like I got COVID, there's like a 99% chance that the COVID that you have is different from anyone else's COVID.
Okay.
Because the virus mutates and evolves to be best fit for whatever situation it's in.
Right.
So when it gets into you, it's going to mutate until it gets into its nice little fit of where it's happy where you are. And then it's eventually going to get killed. But it's going to vibe out for a bit. So basically, these are viruses from a bunch of different people.
Okay. And you say that these are less. Why is it less than the control group?
Okay, yeah. So the amount of MHC1 that's getting expressed, which is
Oh.
that protein.
So because there's less showing, that means they're evading more of it.
Exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep. So, or actually, like, yeah. So actually, the virus is able to stop this green thing from getting put out to here. So you could put it next to this arrow.
Okay, so go forward to the graphs. So to put it in my terms, virus exposed to cell. MHC1 comes in, does its thing, and then the virus it let's just say it only takes out X amount of percent of it and exposes it to the T cells.
I'm sorry. Could you say that again?
So okay, you have.
No, you might have said it well. I just started thinking about something else.
You're good. You have a strain of a virus that's given to what kind of cell? Just any cell, or like a white blood cell? How does this work?
We'll say it's like a lung cell.
Okay, sure. So it's given to a lung cell, and then MHC1 detects it, so it goes in and tries to take it out, but it misses some of it, so it gets what it does, and then some of it's left inside.
Okay, so sort of. Actually, what's happening is MHC1 is always taking little bits of proteins in your cells, like normal bits that are supposed to be there, and it's always taking them and it's showing them on the surface of your cells.
Oh, and the T cells are the ones that decide if they're bad or not.
Exactly.
What's a T cell?
A T cell is a type of cell that floats around in your blood, and it has these really important receptors that bind to MHC class 1. The biggest thing that distinguishes it is it has these receptors called T cell receptors, and these receptors bind to this protein that's getting put on the outside of all of your cells. So it's kind of like it's like an interrogator.
But it's an enzyme, right?
It's a cell that has enzymes that let it kill other cells.
Okay.
If they decide that the other cells aren't part of that, you.
So it's just the interrogation. So
we can skip this. There's this one protein that they were interested in. That's SARS-CoV-2 protein, and they were like, we think that maybe this is the protein that's causing the reduction in MHC1 expression that they saw earlier.
Oh, okay. So the idea was if that was the protein, then they could introduce another protein to the cells?
The idea was, so they're just trying to figure out, so viruses also have protein.
Okay.
So when you look at like a picture like this of a virus, all of these orange things are proteins. And
a protein is a series of amino acids.
Yes. And so do you know what codes for a protein?
Do I know codes?
So like there's a series of amino acids, right?
Uh-huh.
And what like transcribes, what stores the information to know how those amino acids should be ordered? You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so it's like a...
Like if the amino acid sequence, if the protein is like a house, what's like the blueprint for the house?
Okay.
Do you know what it is?
Do I know what it is?
Yeah.
Why would I know what it is?
Okay, so DNA.
Oh, DNA.
DNA is just the blueprint to... It's just the blueprint to proteins. That's all that... So all of this shit are just instructions on what order of amino acids you need to make.
Okay, that our body needs to make. So if let's say I was lactose intolerant, then that means I'm lacking the some part of the DNA structure that tells my body to create lactase.
Exactly. And DNA is a part of your genes, and things that are genetic get passed on through your DNA.
So if
your parents were lactose intolerant, then
odds are you will be. Okay, all right. So let's go. Let's get back.
Monkey noise. Okay, there was this one protein called ORF8, and they wanted to know if this protein that the virus has is what's blocking this MHC1 expression.
Okay.
So they looked at Jesus Christ.
What?
Can I just draw you something really quick?
Okay.
Let's just do a quick start one here. Okay, cool. So this line right here, this is like us at the start of the conversation. This is you before we started talking about this. And we've gone deep into this shit, right?
Okay.
So we've gone deep. And now we're like here. We're kind of plateauing off, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And yeah, like you know what a protein is.
All right.
You know about DNA.
All right, looks like I'm still happy.
Yep, dude. When I tell you, man, the difference between this and this, it's like... That's not even enough.
Why?
That's honestly not enough.
Why? Because you're depressed or what?
No. Just like, okay, so imagine like here you are and you're like, damn, so this is like your brain has no biology in it.
Right.
You don't know about any of this stuff, right?
I'm just existing, and I'm just taking everything for granted.
Yeah, and now you've come this deep, and you know about like this stuff, right?
Okay.
Dude, the fucking difference is like it just goes deeper and fucking deeper. It's insane. I mean, it just keeps fucking going. This is still not enough. It feels
like you're
like
saying
this.
there's still so much shit to understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, I'm like trying to like pull something from here and bring it up to here. And every time I do, you ask the perfect question to fucking bring me back down to here. I'm like, God damn it, he's too good. So I'm scared. Basically, I'm scared to keep talking about this. But basically,
because we'll go off on another tangent.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane.
All right, I won't ask any more deep diving questions.
No, it's. Okay.
I just want to know how the fuck it avoids it. That's what I want to know.
The
now.
answer is.
All right, let's just skip over it. Just go to the answer.
Skip to that.
All right.
So each of these things on the x-axis here is a different protein, and this is going to be so unsatisfying to you. But E, M, ORF7A, ORF7B, ORF8. These are all different proteins within the SARS-CoV-2 virus.
Okay.
And as we see here, all of these proteins decrease MHC1 expression, where this dotted line is the mock.
Okay.
It's the negative control.
Right.
So all of these decrease expression. The way, the how is it uses this protein called E, and if that doesn't work, it's going to use this protein called M, and if that doesn't work, it's going to use this protein called ORF7A, and if that doesn't work, it's going to use this protein called ORF7B. And if that doesn't work, it's going to use this protein called ORF8.
Gotcha. So it's kind of like a mole, like one of those whack-a-mole things. If you miss, you just try another one.
Exactly. So basically, the virus is like always playing whack-a-mole with itself, where it's always like breaking itself. And if you accidentally break the E protein right here, it's okay, because the M protein is going to do just as fine.
And so it just does it until you get COVID.
Exactly. Yeah.
So at the end of the day, we're all fucked.
Yeah. But I mean, okay,
there's a but. There's a but.
Okay, check this out. Dude, this is a great example. You still there? Did I lose you?
I'm waiting.
Okay. So this came out 12 days ago.
Okay.
Does it say Pamela Bjorkman as well?
Is that another one of your cousins?
Oh, this is the first topic on this paper. So this came out, oh my God, this came out 12 days ago, right? And this isn't anything special. I mean, this is just my boss put this out 12 days ago, saying that there's all these different options for the virus to have, but we can actually make vaccines that cover all of these options. So if this one doesn't work, so say you got your COVID vaccine, and it just targets this one, well, it doesn't matter because the virus has this one.
Right.
So you're going to get COVID again.
Yeah.
But they're making some now that can hit all of these at the same time and just like squash the whole thing so that there's no whack-a-mole. It's like you're using like a piece of plywood and
so
putting it down.
Are we 100% certain that it is, let's just say it's those 6 proteins right there that are the culprits effectively? Like, are we sure it's only those 6 or 8 or whatever?
Yeah, basically, yes. We know that the only way that the virus can go into the cell is by this one interaction. So we know that it's only these 6, basically. I mean, I'm kind of conflating two things here, but we know that it's like a limited amount of proteins.
Okay. So the good news is we know it can't create a different protein, and all we have to do is find a vaccine for those 6 proteins.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I didn't really explain that to you perfectly. I kind of like told you some untrue things.
Oh, okay.
So basically the virus, okay, so this is the virus on top here. And the virus has these proteins in green, and it can branch out. Maybe a better example. So this right here is literally describing this green thing.
Yeah.
So this is called the spike. You look back here, it says spike.
Okay.
So this is showing how much the spike has changed in order to hide from our immune system. And basically there are vaccines coming out now that are going to hit all of these combinations. And the green thing is the spike, and you can get different basically you can change your spike. It's like if you're running from the cops and you're wearing a yellow jacket, and you find out that they know you have a yellow jacket on, you change into a black jacket.
Right.
And so like this is a yellow jacket, Delta, and Omicron B1 is a black jacket. Basically, there are vaccines that are coming out that are like, we can recognize you wearing any jacket.
Fantastic. So there is, you're saying in conclusion, there is an end.
Yeah, there's hope. I mean,
is there hope or is there an end?
There's hope. There's not an end.
Okay.
But there's hope that an end will happen eventually.
Why though?
There's gonna be a bottom of it.
Didn't we just agree that there's only those 6 proteins, and if we can create a cure for all 6 of those, then it'll be done?
Yes. And the question you're asking me,
So why are you saying there's only hope?
So it's scary because there's just so many possibilities. Like, it's true that there is a finite amount. Imagine that all those 6 proteins could change this many times. Like, yeah, there is going to be an end, but it's going to be like thousands and thousands of different options.
Okay, so each protein can have on a different jacket.
Exactly.
And there's an indefinite amount of colors to that jacket.
Exactly. There is a definite amount of colors, but it's like, so it's like 1,000 colors.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I understand.
This is exactly what this guy asked me in one of my committee meetings. I was like, man, I don't know what to say. And he looked at me just like this. Imagine this face. He's leaning back in his chair and doing like a big nod, I'm gonna take a picture of this. And then, dude, have you seen this thing where it's like,
this is a cool little thing, whiteboard.com? That's nice.
Yeah, isn't it cool?
Yeah.
Dude, there was like this thing that was like, okay, so you're in school, right?
This reminds me of Line Rider. Did you ever play Line Rider?
Same. I love Line Rider.
Yeah.
Okay, so check this out. This is you. You're in school.
Can you use like a darker...
Yeah, is it too light? Okay, so this is you. And you go to school, right? So you go to school, and now you know this much. Yeah. And this is you after kindergarten.
Okay.
And then you go and you graduate elementary school. You like learn how to add and stuff. And you learn about like some basic physics. And now you know this much, right?
Okay.
Kindergarten, this is 5th grade. You graduate middle school, you learn a lot more. You learn like maybe this much. You get into like a lot more science, more math, shit like that.
Right.
History. So now you're done with 8th grade. You go to high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
You learn a lot more. Learn like all of this.
I already know where you're going with this.
Yeah. No. It's gonna surprise you. It's gonna surprise you. This is high school. Because it's kind of opposite what I just did. Then you go to college and you learn all of this, right? I mean, even this is an underrepresentation because you would just body a fucking kindergartner, right? In any academic thing. But this is you after college. You got a BS.
I got a BSA, but it's okay.
BSA, you said? A BA?
No, a BSA.
What the fuck is that?
It's science and arts.
Oh, that's dope.
It's cause I got a minor in Chinese as well.
Oh.
So I got physics, astronomy, and Chinese.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so sick you took Chinese. It was so fun going to the Great Wall of China grocery store. And you're just like, fucking, oh yeah, I know what that is.
The grocery store.
You remember that?
No, but you said the Great Wall of China, and then you just said grocery store afterwards.
This is place in Houston. It was
I do remember, like, yeah, I do. That's in Chinatown. I remember this. Yeah, and I was saying, like, I was trying to read this to you because it was right next to where we went and played fucking League. Yes. It was called like Black Ant.
Yes, Black Ants. That's right, Black Ant.
Yeah.
Dude, it was hilarious, man. And then we went in the store and you would like pick up shit and be like,
dude,
this means like.
I was just so excited that I could read shit.
It was awesome. Dude, I was like, holy fuck, this is crazy. Okay, so you learned all of that this is all of Chinese and shit that you learned.
Okay.
And then you get a PhD, and let's say this is like, okay, so this is what you learned after your BS.
Mm-hmm.
And say this is like all of human knowledge, right?
Oh, wow, okay.
So this is everything that anyone knows.
All right, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure.
So if you go get a PhD, you do this.
Right. Yep.
And that shit, dude, is fucked up.
It's pretty fucked up. But, I mean, dude, it's impossible to learn everything in the world. You gotta focus on something.
True.
You know, and like but, you know, even though you know all of that, even though you know that little bubble on the end, you know more than that because of, like, the internet and shit. Like, you've probably looked up, like, like you know pretty much all the countries in the world because you've been doing GeoGuessr, right? Like
Oh, dude,
most
that's true.
that's like another bubble in itself.
True. Damn, that's sick, man. You're right.
So you know
So
more
it's
than
like
just
you
in
get
that.
this,
Yeah. Like
and then you kind of do some of these.
yeah. You know
And
you go on
sometimes if
go on little side
I do
quests.
some of these, you know.
Are you just forgetting things?
Yeah, I get some chunks. Thinking out for sure.
No, I
Maybe
mean
I
we
get one
we've
of
all
these.
gone off on little tangents and learned new things. Like fuck, I just edited a fucking YouTube video. Like that's all shit I learned how to do.
Yeah,
Like I didn't. That doesn't. That's has nothing to do with my physics degree, right? So
true. Yeah, true.
what does that one mean?
This is like when I forgot, you know, who won the Alamo and shit. This right here is where I learned the Alamo. And I forgot that.
my boy Davy Crockett. That's all I
Yeah,
got.
yeah. Wasn't it like Goliad or some shit like that? This is Goliad.
I don't know who the fuck Goliath is.
It was like a battle or something like that. I think it's like in Austin actually. Supposedly it's dope. Oh, it's
Yeah.
not in Austin.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, what the fuck?
Oh,
It's
it's
down
close
here.
to Corpus. Okay.
Dude, I didn't realize this. After the wait, let me look this up. I'm
US
spoiling the fun part. Okay,
Wow.
there's this Mexican-American War, 1845, and the US just fucking came all the way down into here. It was like in here.
Uh huh.
It was like, we're gonna fuck you guys up.
Really?
And Mexico was like, oh, we surrender. Please don't fuck us up.
Was it hard to get all the way down there? Like back in the 1800s?
I don't know.
When were cars invented?
Wait, they went all the way to Mexico City. Cars were invented in the early 1900s.
So what did we get down there with? Horses?
Yeah, horses, dude, and walking.
That's fucking nuts.
Dude,
Imagine walking from San Antonio to Monterey.
it's fucking insane.
What is that, like 500 miles?
Dude, I don't know. Let me look. Yeah, Monterey is probably really cool.
Oh, 300 miles. that's it.
300 miles.
Still. Damn.
Dude, that's like a month. That's gonna take me a month.
Yeah,
I'm walking a lot.
And like shoes were not great back then. Like we didn't have fucking Hokas and Adidas, Nikes.
Adidas. Oh, they kind of had boots.
Still, man. Like no padding. I remember I did a film that was based in the 1930s, and walking around in those shoes fucking sucked, dude. That was tough.
They're like these types of shoes.
No, it was like 30s dress shoes. Like they looked pretty normal. They looked very similar to what we wear today. They just had zero padding.
Damn, dude.
But
Are
you
there like warehouses in LA that are full of like costume shit?
Yeah, plenty. There's one right at the bottom of my hill, but it's not like there is like an army surplus store actually really close to me. All right.
Colton, will you leave Q?
Well, that was fun.
Dude, thanks for going on that with me, man.
I learned a lot.
My head hurts.
Yeah, I started to lose interest pretty. That's why I stopped asking questions.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can only pay attention for so long.
Dude, but I was thinking like the things you asked questions on, we got through like 3 years of college.
Oh yeah.
You went ham on the questions, dude. By the time we got to here and you were like, how can you tell these apart? It's like, oh god.
The proteins. It's all about the protein. No, it's all about the jackets. Those are
The
jackets.
jackets. Dude, I'm gonna use that analogy more.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.